Thank you for listening to this Podcast One production. Now available on Apple Podcasts, Podcast One, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.
Cox can help make your home smarter and your life easier. Now you can use your Contour voice remote to connect to your home life cameras so you can view them right on your TV screen using simple voice commands. That makes it easy to keep tabs on what's happening around your home right from your couch. Need to keep an eye on the kids when they're playing outside? Just say, "Show me my backyard camera" into your Cox voice remote and watch them while you're in the house. And if you're waiting for a delivery and want to make sure it's there on time, no problem. Just say, "Show me driveway camera" to check on it with your Home Life HD cameras on the TV screen while you go about your day. When you live in a home powered by Cox Internet, you can stay connected to what matters and let Cox take care of the rest. To learn more about all the benefits of your connected home, visit cox.com/thisishome today.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
That's really awesome.
Awesome.
That's so
awesome. Oh, awesome. That's
awesome.
with Stephen Bradford. Stevie B!
Bradford Anderson, what is up, my brother?
Oh my gosh, dude, this is such a fun week because, we were supposed to be doing some traveling, but
Yes.
instead we're doing other fun stuff.
Well, I'm in my car not traveling, so it's amazing.
Right. Yeah. You're like, it's funny. You're in a car, but not going anywhere. You're just,
This is my non-mobile podcast booth this week, so it's
that's
awesome.
right. That's right. But
So-
we're so lucky to have a wonderful guest today, part of the amazing younger cast of General
Yes.
Hospital. And we're so excited to get to know her better and let you guys get to know her too. It's Sydney Michaela. She plays Trina. Hi, Sydney.
Hello. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Oh,
You're
we're delighted
awesome.
to have you. Delighted. Absolutely delighted.
I know.
So
Before we get
Yes.
started, Sydney and I have a common interest, and that is shoes.
Yes.
So
Oh.
we need to talk real quick on, have you gotten any new shoes lately?
I have actually, I got these for my birthday, but we were in the pandemic, but I really love them. They're these
Oh yeah.
Yes, it was like red and
That's
white.
awesome.
I just think they're so cool. I actually
So cool.
got them off Grailed, which is like a used shoe site. So I bought them and tried to oh man, it was a lot. It was crazy, but I ended up winning the shoes, and I'm just
That's
so proud.
awesome.
Definitely.
that is
Yeah.
so funny. Something called a used shoe site is not something that I would clamor to get onto.
That's
Definitely, it depends on the shoe. I really think that I wanted the Air Force One with the red outline. I knew I was
Yeah.
that's what I need for my birthday. And so I was looking everywhere, and I'm
with
just so
all-
happy around it.
Brad, with all these collectible shoes with these Jordans now, it's all on apps. You're not going to the store anymore.
No,
Like
you're not.
you're getting them on apps. So we
but
talk about the Jordans a lot. So
We
in the
do. We
in the
do.
description for these shoes, do they tell you how used they are?
They'll show pictures, so that will really help. And it'll be just slightly used or things like that. And then
Okay.
cost will be a little bit cheaper, but you're still trying to outbid someone else. So it's crazy, but
Do they
it's
show the
awesome.
pictures of the person's nasty ass feet that wore them before?
no, they do not. No,
sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta get those
That's
shoes
right.
in your hands. See,
I love it.
we
You
get
like
it. We
them.
get it. We always talk about shoes. I appreciate Steve's love of my shoes, and I always
I
love
love
it.
it.
So
I love it.
Right.
Awesome.
Just one more question. Do you Lysol them when you get them? That's it. And then I'm done.
yes, yeah, I do. I do.
Okay.
I'm a clean freak from my mom, so I do clean.
That's so funny. That's
so
awesome.
okay, so I know I've seen Steve's. So I have a couple people in my life that love Jordan. Steve is one of them. Another one is our friend Brandon, who's on days. Now, how often will you wear those?
Not often, because
Okay.
I never wear them to work. I want to be able, when I'm at work, I like to wear bad shoes so I can really get up and move. If anyone steps on my shoes, it's fine. But these,
Sure.
you can't step on. They have to be with the right outfit at the right time. Most likely I'm going to post them with an Instagram post or something like that. These
Yeah.
are my heels, literally. These are the Louis Vuittons.
I
instead
love
of
it.
bottoms, I've got my Jordan. So that's
I love
how
it.
I feel. Feels good.
That is so cool. And I have young girls. I have a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old. And thinking about them getting older and thinking about what they'll feel like fashion wise, what trends they have to adhere to or whatnot. Gosh, I hope that when they're 18 years old, their favorite shoes to wear to show off their whatever side they want to show off is sneakers that are comfortable.
Yeah, it's really great. I love it. I have way more of these than any heels, so there's a lot more where this coming from.
I am all for that. That's amazing. That's
yes.
wonderful.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yes. So you are 18 years old, is that correct?
I am.
Wow. So now that's kind of like full-fledged adulthood. How does that feel?
A little crazy. I've definitely felt it on General Hospital. We went from working like these cute little short days to like full adulting days, and I was like, "Whoa, this is quite a bit."
You were on like a time before you turned 18. You had an hour restriction. You couldn't work certain, right? Is that right?
Yeah. So 10 hours is the max when you're 17 and under, and then there's different. I think like babies work a certain time, whatever. Toddlers, and then kids, and then teens. So the most we could work was 10 hours, and then there was a 10-hour turnaround. So it was really cool. But now it's been a little crazy, but it's still good. It's prepared me because this is what it's going to be like in the industry for me now on. So
sure.
It's good.
That's awesome.
A little bit insane, but a lot of time on set to, explore my character, to do things for college and run my lines and things like that. So it's been a bit of a shift, but it's cool.
Yeah,
nice.
So talking about being in the industry at large, I read that you're from a showbiz family. Is that correct?
I am. My mom has been in the biz for quite a while. She was in the original cast of The Lion King on Broadway. So,
oh wow,
yeah.
Wow.
So
That's
my mom
awesome.
she's definitely a vet in this industry and has helped me so much and has coached me through a lot. And so
cool.
she's a really great coach and just a person to talk to and a great mentor.
So did you grow up in New York City then?
No, that'd have been cool. After Lion King, she came to LA and did more film and TV, and then had me. So.
Oh, okay. So, but it's as long as you can remember, this is what you wanted to do. Is that true?
Yeah, I started when I was 3, and my first job was when I was 5 on Yo Gabba Gabba, which is really cool.
That's so funny. My kids used to watch that. That's so
yes, good show. Very fun.
That's awesome.
I remember. So now that was. It was Yo Gabba Gabba, like, was that live action? I forget.
Yeah, actually it was all live action. So it was about these puppets and then like a DJ who would like play music for the puppets. And then they were in this box. It's a kid show. So that it doesn't
But
get
I remember it was one of those shows where I was like, it was for people with short attention spans, right?
Yes.
It was like really loud and like really like
Yeah.
Exactly. A lot of that, a lot of dancing and music. Exactly. Perfect for a 3-year-old. So it's good.
Right.
They were ahead of their time.
Exactly.
For short attention span people, for sure.
Right. Yeah. One of those shows where like you're like, whoever created this, either they're really smart or they're on drugs. One of those things.
Yeah. There's a few of those, like Teletubbies.
Right.
Yes. Oh yeah, Teletubbies is another one. It's just a lot of colors and sounds. It's
Yeah.
But
That's so funny.
And so, but gosh, do you remember that? Do you remember, was that just fun? As a 5-year-old, what is the work experience for a 5-year-old?
I remember being starstruck. I'll never forget because I was small and I remember the puppets weren't actually puppets. They were like people that would dress up. I remember they kept their costumes on.
Puppets aren't real?
I know, what? I know, they can't dance by themselves. It's crazy, but
oh man,
I remember looking up and then and I was like, whoa, like this is so cool. Like I'm really on a set and these are like my favorite people ever. I'm such a big fan. So I'll never forget that. I'll never forget it. So
that's awesome.
It was
and what
more of this, please, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And then what type of, I'm sure you did a lot of commercials. What other stuff did you do?
Oh man, what other stuff did I do? I love to talk. I did Fuller House, an episode of that, which was really fun.
That's cool.
What else have I done? I can't remember any of the TV stuff that I'm on all of a sudden. Like, do your resume. I'm like, I was on School of Rock on Nickelodeon. That was cool. What else?
Right.
Well, in the bit of research that I did, thinking about like, starting at 5, and I mean, you had some real like crown jewels of your career, like playing Gabby Douglas and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Right. But like from that age, and did you just get into the, like, I'm thinking about a 5-year-old that's got a job but you're also in school. Like what was growing up like if you continued to work until, because I think you played Gabby Douglas when you were how old?
10.
Right. So like, what was growing up as a working actor like?
it was definitely interesting now that I look back on my career. I think my mom gave me the best of both worlds because I was still in public school. But I definitely remember like after school rushing to an audition, having a change of clothes, always in the car, reviewing my lines at lunch. So I remember my childhood now that I look back on it was a little bit different than I would say average people's because I remember that after school I kind of had a job to do, which was really cool. So yeah, it was definitely interesting, but I think it taught me responsibility from a really young age, which I definitely appreciate.
I mean, growing up in LA,
awesome.
were your classmates like, oh yeah, I work too, or was it like, oh cool, you're on Yo Gabba Gabba, you know, like
A little bit of both. A little bit of both. It's actually, exactly, because it's not really a small town. It's LA. So, of course, somebody's dad is a producer. Somebody's cousin's uncle is on TV. You know what I mean? It's just LA. So, even though people thought it was cool, I don't think anyone was necessarily starstruck, like, wow. But it definitely helped me keep a level head. I will say that.
Totally.
So,
yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome.
So, I mean, obviously you were doing kid shows, and then when you did that movie about Gabby Douglas, was that your first, like, was that like the biggest responsibility you had up to that point?
Definitely. It was definitely one of the biggest. I remember researching her, which was really big. I remember learning her junior Olympics routine when I got the role, which was so fun. Like, they taught it to me. I remember meeting Gabby Douglas herself, which was so fun. I remember working with Miss Regina King, which was incredible.
Amazing.
The powerhouse,
Awesome.
just, so consistent. And I really want to continue to work like her because she actually taught me something that I really used on General Hospital, which was, she said, even if the camera isn't on you, you have to continue to act because when your counterpart looks good, you look good. And it's something I've carried with me for the rest of, General Hospital, because it's not always your storyline. It's not going to necessarily be on you, but you have to make sure to give it 110% every time because when the other people in the scene look great, so do you. And that's really important. And so
Awesome.
I really appreciate her
advice.
giving me advice. Yeah.
That is great advice.
Yeah. I mean, just, especially on our show, but on any set, we're a company and the weakest, the strongest, we're only as strong as the weakest link, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So did you have gymnastics abilities going into that?
I do dance, so I don't do gymnastics, but I do dance, and so I had a little flexibility and being able to pick up choreography, like in my toolbox, I guess I would say. So that was really fun to be able to recreate and do. It was insane. But I did have a stunt double for what it's worth, because people were like, "Did you do stunts?" I had a stunt double, but still really cool.
That's
cool,
gosh,
though.
Sydney, I didn't know you could do the vault.
Yes.
Right.
No, that was cool though.
You can like really hide the face really well, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's right.
Wow.
That's
But
right.
that must have been a pretty cool ride for a 10-year-old because I imagine that movie got a lot of attention and I think you maybe perhaps won some awards. So that must have been a really cool experience.
Yeah, I did get nominated and win a Young Artist Award, and I think I got nominated or the movie won a Family and Faith Award, which is really cool. We shot in Canada, which was really awesome. So to leave 5th grade for 6 weeks was
Cool.
pretty legendary. It was very fun. But yeah, I think that whole experience made me really want to continue with the industry and just see where it would take me. It was definitely one of the biggest things I had done thus far, and it was a really great and impactful experience.
So when you're doing auditions, you have an incredible asset in having your mom so does she work all your stuff with you? And like, is that, or you're like, Mom, I got this, or I'm sure it's changed over the years, but.
Definitely. No, but she's worked most of it with me. I've tried other acting coaches, but the issue is after I would do it with the acting coach and she'd be like, okay, show me what you've done. She looks and she goes, okay, that was fine, but I don't know what I paid someone for that. And I was like, oh my God.
That's funny.
She's very honest, like brutally honest with me because she's my mom. So she always knows how to pull and is like, not quite, it's almost there. And I think that's what helps my acting to be so real and realistic and never feel like it's outside of myself because she knows me really well. And so she's always able to like kind of call me on anything when I'm trying to fake it or trying to act versus really emoting and really becoming the character. She's really able to call me on it. So I will
That's
say
awesome.
I've definitely tried other people, but she always like is spot on. So I definitely use her to help me coach and everything like that.
Hey, a free coach is awesome. We'll take
Exactly. Exactly.
it. Yeah, for sure.
That's right.
For sure.
Well, have you noticed as you've gotten older, like your approach to character, approach to preparation, has it changed in a way as you've gotten older? And what is the biggest thing you've kind of learned in terms of how you approach material as you've aged through your young career?
That's a really great question. I think, in the earlier days, I think maybe it was just about trying to emulate what I saw on screen or trying to become someone else, but I think now that I've become older and have gotten more comfortable within my acting career, it's really about going through the material and trying to understand the subtext of what the character is really trying to say. And I think that's so important. And also trying to find a piece of yourself within the character is something that I definitely do more now than I think I've done in the past, just because I was a kid and didn't really understand the depth of maybe what was really happening. So now that I'm getting older, it's definitely about finding pieces of the character within myself and vice versa, and how can we kind of merge the two, and what do I do in my real life that this character does as well. And when I can, bring that together on screen, I think that's really what makes the performance understandable and relatable and human, which is important.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
With young actors, sometimes the process is difficult if you have when you're on GH, you have a lot of, dramatic scenes, you have a lot of emotional scenes.
Right.
How do you, because your life experience, you don't have a ton of life experience where you've maybe you have, maybe you haven't, where you've experienced a ton of pain that you can draw on, being a method actor, or, like Jonathan Jackson, who played Lucky, he was so young, he would always imagine things. So it was his imagination that took him to that place as opposed to real life experience. What do you find that you use when you have emotional stuff? Because I've seen you do a lot of emotional scenes. What do you recall, or what do you rely on?
I think it's a little bit of a mix of all of it. You do use some of the pain and sadness that you have, but I really try not to think of a specific memory, because I feel like when you try to pull from one memory too much, it keeps the memory from being sad, which it should be. Some memories should always stay, sad. Some memories should always make you grieve a little. And so when you overuse them, it doesn't have that same feeling. So I just try to pull from the emotion of sadness, pull from how I feel or what my body does when I'm sad. And then on top of that, I'll just think about what the character is going through, which, imagining really does help. When you put yourself in that situation and you really put yourself in that mindset, I think it's really important. But the biggest thing I told someone the other day actually was to never think about crying. I remember when I first had my first scene on GH, or maybe like in rehearsal or something, and I tried to cry, I was like, wow, that was like really bad. That's because I was thinking about tears, you have to cry, and that wasn't working. But I remember then we were doing the kidnapping scene, and I was just like, really put myself there. Like, I'm petrified right now. I only have my friend. We're unarmed. You just threw my phone out the window. And I just, tears started coming from this place. I was like, whoa, I didn't know I could do that. I really shocked myself. And
That's
so
awesome.
It really came because it was just fear and frustration and all these emotions just kind of happened. And it was just a moment. And that's really what life is. It's just, it's a compilation of all these moments that you just live through and you're present. So that's
cool.
the best answer I have.
That's awesome.
Something you said there is something it's never, and it's so astute and wise about, taking the memories from our life and using them in our creative process, which, all artists use their personal experience in some way, but almost, rewiring our brain to have that memory almost reframed because we've used it for other things
100%.
Instead of just, I've never thought about that. That is so wise. And thank you for teaching me something like that. That's really kind of profound and crazy that we think of our memories, which are things that we, in theory, are things that we cherish, and we just use them for sport.
It's crazy because there's a ton of memories that, because that's what I would draw on, are those types of memories. And then after about 2 or 3 months on the show, using that memory, it'd be dead for me.
Mm-hmm.
It would elicit no emotion at all. And I go, now I got to move on to another one. which is kind of interesting, you know. So
it's I used to
crazy.
I came from musical theater, and you know, when you're singing a song and working on it, oftentimes you pick someone to sing it to.
Exactly.
And it's funny, but like, you know, for a couple years I would sing the song to a certain person. And then after a couple years, the song would get really stale because I've said enough to that person. Do you know what I mean? Like
Sure.
It doesn't mean anything to me. It doesn't bring anything up anymore. It's all been brought up. So I have to change the person that I'm singing it to. And it just was a practical thing. It's like, oh yeah, that's not working for me anymore. I got to do this. But it didn't occur to me that how that has a, like, what does that person now mean to me in a different way? Anyway,
Exactly.
Kind of weird. Yeah.
it is kind of weird.
It is kind of strange if you think about it, for sure.
We're playing with, it's like we're playing with real things and
With real things, exactly. And you don't think of it that way, but you really are. And so
You really are. Yeah.
Yeah, I had to definitely think of a different method after a while, because it's important that these, you know, sad memories stay in our memory box and we hold them and we treasure them, and that we keep them in a place that we don't have to use for work, because it is still work. Even though we love it and we cherish it, it shouldn't really ever collide with our personal lives, because our personal and who we are and that sad place that we go to should be for us and only for us in our most like intimate personal spaces. So
that's incredibly healthy. Well done.
Yeah.
Well,
sure.
I mean, some actors, I think some actors enjoy the like the toil,
torture,
right? The
Yeah,
torture, like,
that's true.
right? Because
Yeah.
that feels like they're doing something, but
Sure.
at what cost? I say, at what
Yeah.
cost?
exactly,
A lot of mental costs, for sure.
exactly. It's quite
Would you say that you know, whatever technique you've put together, has that been more from just working with your mom, or has there been training that you've specifically done throughout?
It's definitely, well, I trained at Amazing Grace Conservatory with Miss Wendy Raquel Robinson. She's on The Game, which was on BET. I think it's on Netflix now, which is really cool.
Okay. Awesome.
But I trained at Amazing Grace Conservatory, and you know, I've done a few classes here and there. I'm going to UCLA, so I'm definitely hoping to take some theater classes there as well, which would be really awesome. But I think,
Awesome. Congrats.
thank you.
Awesome.
So that's starting soon?
In a month. We start late
Nice.
September 23rd, I think. So I'm excited, nervous to see how that all works with General Hospital and school and everything else. But I'm excited to start that new chapter of my life, definitely. So
Yeah, that's awesome. Good for you.
Wow. I mean,
Let's,
have you seen Eden has just started USC?
yes.
Have you been able to, has her experience led you to think of anything about how you're going to treat your experience? Because I mean, this is a strange time to be starting college.
Agreed. We're actually working together today, so I'll make sure to talk to her and see how that's going. William actually had a huge audition because he's a music major at USC, so he had he had a placement audition, and he was freaking out a little bit. So I was a little nervous because I'm like, oh man, is this how it's going to be? Because I know William was like just a little stressed over like knowing his lines, but also learning like 3 different songs for his placement audition. So it definitely does make me wonder what college will look like, because we'll all have those moments where we have a final and a 40-page script on the same day. It's just bound to happen one time in the
for sure.
So I'm a little, apprehensive, but I think I'm excited, and I'm so glad that General Hospital is really supporting us getting our education, which is so important, because for each of us, I think there's no better time than the present. There's really no time to wait. There's no time to like, maybe I can put it off. It's like now. Now is the time.
Yeah.
We've gotten into these schools. We've gotten into these programs. I'm a sociology major at UCLA. It's, I think, the top 6 sociology programs in the country. So for me, it's like, I can't wait. I don't want to wait anymore. Like, I'm in now, and I've got to take this opportunity while it's here. So I'm so grateful that General Hospital respects that and is still allowing us to continue our craft.
That's awesome.
How did sociology come about? Just, I mean, obviously you're studying human behavior as an actor, but
yes.
like, is there any other connection?
There is, actually. So I really want to be a producer. And I just want to understand human constructs to be able to create real and human stories and create and portray relationships on screen, really that represent minorities in a positive light. I didn't necessarily, I might do a film minor, but I didn't do a film major because I wanted the sociology degree just in case I wanted to venture outside of the arts and do something else just in case. But
awesome.
I'm definitely taking some film classes already for my first quarter there. So we'll see if I actually end up as a film minor, which would be really cool. So
that's awesome.
I mean, having the skill, like when for film classes, are they like history classes or like are they practical in terms of filmmaking?
I think they're definitely practical in terms of filmmaking. UCLA also has, I think, the top 6 film programs in the country, which is really cool too. Yeah, cool. So I'm excited to try to get into that minor. I don't think you can come in as a minor when you're first a freshman and everything. So I think once I get on campus and get acclimated, then I can go to different departments and be like, this is what I want to do. This is really what the vision I want to carry out. So how can we do that? But I'm sure they'll be able to work with me, and I'm really excited.
And you're going to be living on campus.
I will. I'll be living in a suite. So I'm a little nervous.
I like the sound of that.
I mean, what can you request a suite?
Or it's random. So I just got lucky.
I got a suite. That's sweet.
It is. Oh,
that's awesome.
Nice.
Hey, all right, let's talk about General
You're going to
Hospital.
get used to going across Santa Monica or Wilshire or Sunset.
Westwood. Hey, Westwood's awesome, man. That's where I grew up, like in high school.
Nice.
You know, back in the day, Sydney, when when I went to high school, that was the spot.
Wow, really?
Like Westwood was the spot. It was a sea of people every Friday and Saturday night. It was amazing. Okay. So I don't know what it's like now, but Westwood's pretty cool.
Okay.
I got fond memories of UCLA down there. It's awesome.
Nice.
So let's talk a little bit about General Hospital. When did you get on General Hospital?
Almost 3 years ago now. I got on when I was 16. So it's been quite a ride. Very fun.
Okay, now, because I don't watch the show and people get mad at me, but who are your parents? Can you tell us?
Yes. So, Brooke, why am I blanking out on my mom's name? We're going to come back to that. And Riel, who plays Taggart. And
Taggart. Okay.
There you go. And Brooke, who plays, why am I forgetting my mom's name?
Portia?
And Portia, there you go. I don't know. It's so many names because you got to remember someone's real name and their character.
I know.
It's like 100 names, and it's like...
Yeah, so Taggart and Portia are your parents.
Yes, they are.
Got it. Okay, cool.
Well, and so you thought you had lost your dad on the show, right? That was an interesting storyline recently.
Yes, right? I did. So I saw him die. We did the whole crying in the hospital.
The shootout.
I'm mad at everyone, and I'm mad at Curtis, who's played by Donnell. He does an amazing job, and I'm upset with him. And then my dad comes back to life.
Hey!
But I'm mad at him, and then I'm not mad at him. So it was a wild ride, but I really love General Hospital because I get to just explore these different facets of acting and facets of anger and everything. I definitely felt like in my previous roles, I really wasn't able to do that. So to be able to do all that anger and crying and just different stages of grief, which was really fun to play.
Sure.
There are different, that denial, the anger, and the sadness, and seeing her lash out on her friends and seeing her lash out on her mom. It was definitely interesting to play, and I loved every second of it.
Today's episode of That's Awesome is brought to you by Truebill. How many free trial subscriptions end up costing you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars long after forgetting to cancel? Gosh, that gets my goat. Gosh, the amount of things that are fun to try, because there's so many things, there's so many apps, subscriptions, all these things that maybe you want to try for like one thing, you want to use it one time, and then 3 weeks later you got to cancel it. And God, if you're looking for a way to fight back against scammy subscriptions, Truebill's the thing.
Truebill is the new app that helps you identify and stop paying for subscriptions that you don't need, that you don't want, or you just simply forgot about, because we know that happens to all of us. On average, people save up to $720 a year with Truebill, which is kind of crazy, right?
Mm-hmm. And, because companies make subscriptions hard to cancel, you got to track it down. You got to remember where it came from and how to find it. But no, Truebill makes it incredibly simple. Just link your accounts and Truebill will cancel your unwanted subscriptions in one tap. You don't have to call that person and then have them try to give you the hard sell to keep you.
Yeah, right. And your Truebill concierge is there when you need them to cancel unwanted subscriptions. So you don't have to.
Yeah, so I've used Truebill. The layout is incredible. Not only do they show you all the subscriptions and how much you're paying every month, when the next one is coming up, so you can. It's not just like what's happened. You can actually look forward and say, "Oh, that's coming up in a few weeks. I don't want to pay for that." You can get rid of that before that happens. But there's so many other tools as well. Truebill has over 2 million users, and it's helped them save over $100 million.
That's
what?
crazy. Yeah, that's a lot. So do not fall for subscription scams. Start canceling today at truebill.com/that's awesome.
Go right now.
Right now.
Truebill.com/that's awesome. It could save you thousands a year.
Truebill.com/that's awesome. Get it. Try it. Do it. Truebill.
Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. And I bet it can be hard work. Well, you know what's easy? Bundling policies with Geico. Geico makes it easy to bundle your homeowners or renters insurance along with your auto policy.
It's a good thing, too, because you already have so much to do around your home. So go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. It's Geico easy. Visit geico.com today. That's geico.com.
Well, I'm just thinking about, 16 to 18, like a lot going on. Like how cool. And Steve, I know you've talked about this too, like how privileged, what a privilege it is to be able as a human to express ourselves at our job. But thinking totally about a teenager, like you have a mom to yell at work. Does that make you yell at your mom less at home?
I don't yell at my mom, but
because listen, hey, you meet her mom, mom will give you a beat now. I'm just telling you right now.
But you know what I mean is like I remember being at that age, you're experiencing a lot, and how cool is it to get those feelings, have those feelings in your workplace, or is that confusing in a way? I wonder. Do you know what I mean?
No, I think it's definitely gives you something to focus on too, which I think is really great. Quite honestly, I think a lot of that stuff was happening. Well, how was it happening? It was during a hard time for me because it was the point where I realized that I wanted to do independent schooling. I just thought it would be a better option for me. A lot of people were saying like, don't do it, don't pull out of school. But I was like, this is just going to be the better option for me. So I remember it was a lot of, an angst feeling and like this, I don't know if I should do this or this is what I want to do. So being able to express that at work was really great because it was a lot of definitely confusion. It was ultimately the right decision for me. I actually ended up graduating a semester early, which was really awesome.
That's awesome. That's
great. But I was not sure about my decision at first. So being able to express that on set and just take some of it out felt good. Kind of like one of those smash rooms where you can go in and just...
Yes, exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Yeah. And it's cool, I was going to say what's cool about what you're doing, what you're able to do too. And you have Eden and you have Will, and you're kind of taking this journey together with some friends, which is pretty awesome. Cause I see you guys are close and you guys hang out a lot and you're going through the same thing right now, all of you together.
Exactly.
Which is what a blessing that is to have, that camaraderie and that trust and support from other people on the set, that are going through what you're going through.
Exactly. It was so cool. We were going through the whole college application process and talking about which essays we were going to do and what Common App theme we chose for our essay. It was all like really stressful, but I remember when I got into USC, even though I ended up at UCLA, I remember calling William like, "Did you get in?" He's like, "Yes, I did." And we were both like screaming on FaceTime. And it just felt so good because it was so much stress leading up to it. And then we both got in. Eden was already in because she plays volleyball. So congrats to her as well.
She's been in since like 2012.
She's been in since
since she was 7 years old.
Yeah. I met her. She's like, "I'm going to USC." I'm like, "Whoa, I am a sophomore." What? But
so awesome.
William and I called each other, and it was a really great moment.
That's really cool.
I mean that part of working at GH, having those similar age people going through the same thing, that would have probably been somebody's the reason why they would have said, "Hey, stay in school," is for like maybe part of the social part of it, right?
Right.
But having that kind of social circle at work where you have people that are having shared experience, same experience, that's a real boon.
It is.
Totally.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
People that understand what you're going through and really understand like the pace of General Hospital too, because sometimes on other shows, I know they work sometimes and then take long breaks, but that's not really how it is just because there's so much that we have to shoot and do. So having people that understand that same boat that you're in and understand that you still want to get your education and pursue General Hospital and do great every time is really awesome. So between
that's really cool.
with them and, you know, having lunches and everything, it's really great to have that support system through General Hospital.
That's so cool.
Prior to GH, no job had lasted more. I mean, were you a regular on any other show at any point?
No, I wasn't. I would say the closest I got, I booked 2 pilots that were actually pretty huge, but they didn't get picked up. But I think everything happens for a reason, so no resentment there. I think, you know, I always look back and realize that if they had taken off and if I had had that level of fame, I don't know that I would have been able to handle it that young.
Yeah, that's wise. That's a wise thing.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
But now being on the show for 3 years, creatively, obviously your character has had opportunities to have different experiences and your character is growing up on screen as you are. But creatively, like, are you able to do other things besides, you know, school and GH?
Actually, I am. I do quite a bit of voiceover work. So,
awesome.
Yeah, that's really how I challenge myself, and that's where I get to, you know, do complete 180 of what I do on GH. So way more fun, zany, crazy things. So fun, and it's awesome. They work around GH. So I'm like, this is my GH schedule, whatever you guys want to do. So I record in my closet. Sometimes I'll record in Burbank, but it is really fun, and that's really what
awesome.
I do to kind of counter it.
Good for you.
So I'm actually a regular. I play Wolf on Keep on the Age of Wonder Beasts on Netflix. So it was actually nominated for an Emmy, which is really cool. But
wait,
you're a multi-nominated. You're multi-nominated.
Yeah. I'll take that. I'll take it. Yes, multi-nominated. Yes, and I also played Maya on Craig of the Creek on Cartoon Network, which was also nominated for an Emmy, which is really fun.
Wow!
You're
So how did
awesome.
that? Was that just through random auditions, or were you is that something you were aiming for, or did it just kind of happen?
Totally just happened. My mom is also a voiceover actress, and I remember her being in the closet doing voiceover. She said when I was 9, I was like, I kind of want to do that too. So my mom just like brought me to an agency, which I'm like, Mom, isn't that like skipping steps? Shouldn't you have like put me in classes? She's like, no, you got it. I was like, what?
All right.
So she just took me to an agency. I remember them asking me to read something and to sing. And so I did that. And then I was with Osborne Agency the next day. And then it just kind of took off from there. So it's really fun. I think people underestimate that voiceover acting is literally just acting, but no one can see you. And that's all it is. So still got to do character work, still got to be in, just all the character work and everything that you do on General Hospital is the same with voiceover acting. So I think it's really fun, and that's really what keeps the creativity going. And I'm working on some other voiceover stuff now that I can't talk about yet, but I'm so excited for it to like come out and everything. But
yeah, that's awesome.
Good. I've just got some really cool stuff coming up, and I'm just so glad to be able to do that in General Hospital at the same time.
Yeah,
that's amazing. I mean, what a balance.
Yeah.
What a bright future you have. I'm so excited and proud of you. You're such a great kid. It's awesome to see. It really is.
And what an incredible presence too. I mean,
I know,
right?
There's
plenty of great stuff in store, but enjoy all the great stuff you got going. That's awesome. And gosh, the newness of college. Yeah, I can imagine there's some trepidation with like,
I know, what am I going to do? But I think it'll all work out. And I think the best part my dad said was like, unlike high school, you don't really have to finish in 4 years. Don't tell anyone.
Yeah.
Like rush to do like 4 years. Oh, I'm doing 3 years. Like, it's not like that. You know what I mean? It's about the experience. It's about what you learn. So if at any point you need to just slow down, not necessarily give up, but like, oh, I need to take less classes or maybe double up on classes this time. That's really what the beauty of college is too, which I'm excited for. So if it takes 4 or 5 years, I'm not really like, oh no, because it's not high school. Like I actually want to enjoy this part and enjoy every second. So it's going to be
that is a great approach. You're right. It's sometimes we get caught up in these formulas of what we think is expected of us, but you're right. That you can manage it any way you like, any way that works.
That's right.
Yeah. So, what are you excited about for what's next for Trina? Do you think?
Oh well, Trina's got some. She was liking Spencer, but then, he got his girlfriend Esme to come back. So that's going to be quite a bit of animosity between the friend group. What's going to happen between Esme, Spencer, and Trina? Got some spicy stuff coming up.
You get to give Spencer a little smack in the lips.
Oh, man. Trina definitely is not too happy with Spencer. I'll say that.
You're ready.
I really like the writing though that's coming up because it's very we're all kind of playing off each other. It's very snippy what's coming up, which is really fun to play. And I don't think our characters have done that before. So it's definitely everyone's kind of picking a side and staying with it. So we'll see what friendships stay, what don't, but I think it'll be good. The audience will definitely love it.
Amazing.
Awesome.
Are all the kids hanging out at the MetroCourt pool? Is that the cool place to hang out in Port Charles?
Right now it is. If you're young and if you're hip, I guess, you go to the MetroCourt pool. So
if you're old and not hip, you go there too, apparently.
Oh, well, there you go.
Or if you're old and have a bad hip, you go there too.
There needs to be a cool water aerobics class for all the old people.
It does. No, fun fact, I don't know if the audience knows this. The pool's actually 2 feet. So I have swam in it. I think Nicholas has, but it is literally to your, maybe below your knees, but you have to pretend like it's a full pool. So
That's so funny.
They wanted me to swim.
Everybody's got scratch marks on their belly from trying to swim in the water.
Exactly, but they want you to do full swim, so it's fun. It's good.
Do they have no diving signs nearby?
They should, shouldn't they? Yeah, they definitely should because it's a little shallow.
At my house we have a community pool with a little kiddie pool, which is about that size. I wonder how much urine is in the GH pool too.
Oh no! I hope none.
No, I don't think so.
People would know. They hire background to swim in there and everything like that. So I'm sure they check people in the pool.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Bradford. Thank you so much, Bradford. Well, Sydney, you're awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. We're so excited and proud of you. You're doing amazing work.
Thank you.
And your life just sounds awesome.
It sounds awesome.
It's great. So
well done, you.
Thank you.
Well done.
Teenagehood. I'm enjoying every second of it. So
that's awesome.
Thank you guys so much for having me. This was really fun.
Thank you, Sydney.
Cool.
Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. And I bet it can be hard work. Well, you know what's easy? Bundling policies with Geico. Geico makes it easy to bundle your homeowners or renters insurance along with your auto policy. It's a good thing, too, because you already have so much to do around your home. So go to geico.com. Get a quote and see how much you could save. It's Geico easy. Visit geico.com today. That's geico.com.
Pluto TV is playing the biggest movies every night this summer for free. Watch hit movies like The Matrix, G.I. Joe Retaliation, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Scary Movie, Runaway Bride, and more all summer long. Check out the biggest stars like The Rock, Keanu Reeves, Tom Cruise, Julia Roberts, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and more. Plus, Pluto TV has hundreds of free TV channels in English and Spanish featuring TV shows, news, sports, comedy, and more, all for free. Download the free Pluto TV app on your favorite streaming device, including Android and Apple smartphones. Pluto TV. Drop in, watch free.
Love listening to our podcast? We love that you're here to listen. Do you ever wonder what it's like to create a listening experience like this, week to week? Do your friends always tell you that you should have a podcast? Well, now is your chance. Our podcast network, Podcast One, is looking for the next podcast star. Think it could be you? Enter the Self-Made Podcast competition now to find out. All you have to do is visit launchpad1.com/selfmade for a chance to win a contract with Podcast One, valued at over $100,000 in promotion and so much more. Enter now until September 3rd and tell all of your friends to listen and download. Go to launchpad1.com/selfmade to find out more, see official rules, and sign up for your chance to win. That's launchpad1.com/selfmade.
Hey guys, Jay Cutler. Started a new podcast called Uncut with Jay Cutler. Most of you know me from the NFL, some of you have seen me on Instagram, and some of you know me from the reality TV world. Each week I'm taking you along with me as we discuss football, trending topics, and whatever's going on in my life each week. I'm bringing along people that are special in my life, former teammates, friends, and some new people that I like and respect. That's what you're supposed to do, right? Podcasting? I think I'm doing this right. Can't wait to get started with you. Go subscribe now. Uncut with Jay Cutler. Apple Podcasts, Podcast One, and Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Cox can help make your home smarter and your life easier. Now you can use your Contour voice remote to connect to your home life cameras so you can view them right on your TV screen using simple voice commands. That makes it easy to keep tabs on what's happening around your home right from your couch. Need to keep an eye on the kids when they're playing outside? Just say, "Show me my backyard camera" into your Cox voice remote and watch them while you're in the house. And if you're waiting for a delivery and want to make sure it's there on time, no problem. Just say, "Show me driveway camera" to check on it with your Home Life HD cameras on the TV screen while you go about your day. When you live in a home powered by Cox Internet, you can stay connected to what matters and let Cox take care of the rest. To learn more about all the benefits of your connected home, visit cox.com/thisishome today.